nonstop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
But we got a team in here, and this is like a chant. Now every time I beer, we gotta score.
Best day of the week.
There it is. It is Friday here on Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company. Mackie, Judd, executive producer Declan, daily Vikings entertainment with one mission statement. We want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. And if they play like they did on Sunday against the Seahawks every week for the rest of the year, just maybe they can accomplish that mission. We'll see. This is a great test this week against the Cleveland Browns. Vikings Vent Line is the place to be right after the game. Thank you guys for helping us set and blow away. We've already been setting records by month in terms of downloads and just overall YouTube, just consumption of the podcast. And you guys helped us blow away another one in the month of September. It was a record month for Score North, for Mackie and Judd, for Purple Daily. So thank you guys.
Thank you. You're awesome.
Yes. And that's not insincere Judd talking. That is sincere Judd right
That's
there.
sincere
Very
Judd.
sincere.
Yep.
Very sincere.
If you're watching us sincerely on a TCL TV, thank you. TCL has a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. 4-question Friday. Here's question number 1. Quite simply, do you miss Kevin Stefanski? Clint's been pretty good.
I've been giving this
Zim's a changed man.
I've been giving this some thought, and the answer is yes, more, and certainly more than I thought. 2019 provided some challenges because you did win a playoff game, and you got rolled in the second round by the 49ers. So the Vikings, I think if they had lost to the Saints, were going to go to Stefanski, and they didn't. But Kevin Stefanski, for the most part, and this is a credit to him because I saw him when he was this side of being a ball boy. Kevin Stefanski is the type of coach in 2021 in the National Football League who really fits in perfectly. He's an offensive guy. He empowers people. He's well liked, but he's respected. He's a smart dude, and he learned a ton, and he has taken that to Cleveland. And, shelf life wise, you could have made a case after 2019 that what Zim brought had been very valuable, but with where the league was trending, Kevin Stefanski made more sense. So, yeah, you know what? I think the Vikings, we'd feel better about them being on the right track with Kevin Stefanski as coach. So at the time, I said, okay, that's just too bad. Now I miss him.
What about you, Declan?
I definitely miss his philosophies. I would have liked for us to transition more to an offensive team, and it looks like, by the way, the Vikings are doing that with Clint Kubiak, my guy, who I never doubted, unlike some people on this show. I knew this was going to happen. I knew they'd be the number 1 rated play calling offensive coordinator through the first 3 weeks.
I don't think people doubted. It was more just are we sure this? He's 34. He's never done this, and he's got this job kind of because his dad's Gary. I don't know.
I will say he's not, but everyone just said, oh, it's just his dad. This is not just like his dad's offense. They're taking more shots on second and short. This is not just his dad's offense. I do think he's putting his own staple on, and I think that's impressive. But to go back to Stefanski, it would have been nice to have him here, but Cleveland gets him, and if he can turn around the Cleveland Browns, and Cleveland was a dumpster fire for 20 years, and maybe they're heading in the right direction, but I don't miss him too much, but I understand why Vikings fans will have some regret looking back on it after the playoff win against the Saints in 2019.
Yeah, it's and to know that building, Judd has caught wind that building was very split. Decision makers in the building were oh man, we should just say goodbye to Zim and keep Stefanski around. It feels a little bit like the decision they had in 2007 wasn't really a decision on Mike Tomlin because Childress was there for 1 year. Tomlin popped up and shocked the world by just knocking his Steelers interview out of the park. I don't think he was. People say he was brought in as a Rooney, that was the word, right?
He was. That's 100%
which is terrible to say, but he got in that room and he absolutely wowed the Steelers ownership. And obviously, in retrospect, if you could have had Mike Tomlin over Brad Childress, you probably would have taken that, right?
Right.
I think right now, the way I look at it is, would the Vikings be better right now in 2021 with their current roster with Kevin Stefanski as the head coach or Mike Zimmer? The answer is probably Kevin Stefanski.
Yep.
If the Vikings defense was playing lights out and the offense was like if Zimmer fixed the defense and it's back to being top 5, then I think you might say otherwise. But it's got to be nice to know that you've got a dude with 20 more years left of head coaching experience to go if he continues to coach at a high level. And Mike Zimmer's in his mid-60s. You can see the end of the road for Mike Zimmer just from an age perspective. And I think Kevin Stefanski would have been a great offensive-minded fit. Do I think Stefanski limits the amount of time he spends with his franchise quarterback, Baker Mayfield? Probably not. Zimmer is like carving out an hour, finally once a week. It would have been interesting to see Stefanski in that head role. He was already spending a bunch of time with Kirk as a quarterback's coach and a coordinator. Right. In that head role, how would that relationship have evolved? So, long-winded answer longer. Yeah, I miss Kevin Stefanski. I do.
And I think the thing, too, with Kevin is that because of his age and approach, he knows how to get the most from today's player. And Mike's 60, 65? Like, he's not going to identify, and this is not his, fault. He just doesn't really identify with Kirk Cousins and a lot of guys who are in their 20s or 30s. So Kevin did a very good job. And the thing that I liked about Kevin, too, and it's hindsight now, but is, he is respected. He knows how to get along with players, but I feel it's genuine. It's none of this rah stuff. I think he just knows what he's doing. His dad has been or was a GM in the NBA for years. So he just knows the approach. So yeah, I'm with Phil.
If the Vikings beat the Browns, the only way Mike Zimmer can take another step and connect with those young players, he has to do the gritty in the locker room. Wouldn't that be awesome if the Vikings beat the Browns and Mike Zimmer does the gritty to break it down after the game's over?
Crowd surf
a little bit.
So I heard it all week long, right? 0-9 on Monday night. Yeah! You like how this tastes? Yeah. You like that?
I love that. Oh man, he blew the line. He had it. He had it ready to pop, and he forgot what the line was. All right. Question number 2 here. 4 questions.
You like that? You like that?
This one comes from W4CA on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Which is a more significant return home? Sunday night, Tom Brady to New England, or flashback to 2009, Brett Favre returning to Green Bay? Judd, you were there for that one.
Yeah, I guess in this case, I need to know significant defined by what that means exactly, because I think the Favre
magnitude.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with the Favre one because Brady, while we have certainly seen more of his personality in Tampa Bay, which is fun, I think. But if there's bitterness there, which I'm sure that there was and there is, it didn't really play out nearly as much in front of us, the public, as Favre did. Favre was so beloved. Green Bay is so small. I mean, Brett Favre was their quarterback. He was, it's Brett Favre and Bart Starr at the time. So I'm going to go with Brett, partially on the bias that I was there. But, as Sage has told the story, when Brett came out of that small tunnel as a Viking, the stadium shook. It was shaking, and it was all booze. Brady's going to get probably just a standing O, which
He's
is great.
He's going to get cheered. He should get cheered.
And he deserves that.
Packer fans should have cheered Favre, too, by the way, but they're idiots. So.
But my point is, the soap opera of Favre going back to Green Bay was so enormous that it's hard for me to say that what we're going to see on Sunday night is going to surpass that.
Boy, it's such a great comp. I mean, it's 15, 20 years as the face of a franchise. One guy brought 6 rings, but Favre brought a ring to Green Bay, and I think it was a couple MVP awards in the mid-90s.
Yeah, he did.
I think the reason why. So the question was phrased, the more significant return home. I'm going to put a different word on it. I mean, because I think Brady's the more significant return in that he's going back to it's the greatest run in football history, right? And he's going back. But if you're asking me what's the more entertaining and interesting return home, it's Favre going into a hostile Green Bay, where at the time, like, of course, they've since grabbed all their burned jerseys out of the fire pits, and they've made up with Brett.
They've forgotten about this.
All these idiots who stood on their feet and gave him a standing ovation when he was inducted into the Packers Ring of Honor. It's like, all you guys burned your Favre jerseys in 2009 because Favre handled that poorly, but at the time they hated him with a fiery passion, right? Because he went to. If it would have been the Jets coming back, then maybe it would have been okay, but it was the Vikings.
Correct.
And I don't know that there is a rival like that for the Patriots. They don't really, like the Colts for a while were, but they don't have an in-division rival on that level because they just waxed everybody for 20 years.
The team that they hate the most, largely I think because Bill does, is the Jets.
Yeah.
But the Jets are
But
so
the Jets
irrelevant.
don't beat them. Right.
Yeah.
But this would be, the thing with Favre is he was playing for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't pick, maybe the Bears, but beyond that, you couldn't pick a team that those people despise more than the Vikings. So yeah, all of the elements that went in, and Brett being Brett, there was going to, Tom now is trying to say, hey, our divorce with Bill couldn't have been handled better by everybody. It was all, he's trying to downplay this sucker as much as possible. Brett had no opportunity. Brett was going to be like, well, am I upset? Would you be upset?
Maybe.
Tom Brady looking at the camera this week or looking at the media and saying, this is really just about two good football teams. Dude, spare us.
He has no voice left now, too.
I know. His voice is gone.
He's like, we're going to play a good game.
So, I don't know. I mean, it was Favre returning to Green Bay in that hostile environment was.
You like that?
Are you guys excited for this game on Sunday? It's appointment viewing for me. I'm in. Oh, yeah. Declan, you're out on this.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Like I'll have it on, but I'm not gonna stop everything I'm doing and be glued to the TV.
What?
I'll watch it. I'll probably watch it, but it doesn't have any impact on me.
60 Minutes on CBS?
No, I'm not Ross Brendel. No, but
nothing has an impact on you.
I'm not gonna I'll have it on, and I'm sure I'll be putzing around my apartment, but I'm not gonna be glued to my TV. It's week 4. It's Brady's return. It has nothing impacting on me.
I don't even know.
What as me as a Minnesota? What impact does this have on me as a Minnesota sports fan?
Well,
it's a cultural phenomenon.
Well, for one, okay, it could sway the NFC tournament bracket later on this season.
Love you said tournament.
The Patriots.
Love that.
The
players call it tournament. Players call it tournament. Pat P on his podcast yesterday.
It's gonna be a solid football game, but
dude, I don't sense enough football love coming from you right now.
Here?
I don't know if you really love football.
Declan, The Bachelor doesn't matter, but it's great drama to you or something like that.
Actually, Declan still thinks there's a chance for him and Katie Thurston to wind up together.
I'm out on her. I have said before how that show ended. She disappointed me, and to be honest, she's been even incredibly more annoying on social media since. So I'm actually completely out of
If she slides into your DMs, I think you'll answer.
There will be no better reality show on television in the coming week than Pat's Bucks. It's the greatest.
Yeah, it's going to be a game. I'm going to watch it, but I'm not I can't. It's not I can't wait for it on Sunday night.
I am so invested on Sunday. Yeah. First of all, Browns Vikings has me jacked, dude. Super jacked. I'm so excited. And then I get home and I get to watch the Patriots and the Bucks with the Surly Furious by my side.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Go on, continue.
Because Sunday is all about Sunday. It's all about football. Also Saturday, and if you're going to watch football, there's only one thing to watch it with. That's right. You on YouTube can see this. A Surly Furious IPA. It is Minnesota's favorite IPA. I want you, again, I will continue to request, send Phil, send Dex on Twitter. I'm at Jay Zolgad. All of your photos of you watching football at home or at the stadium with a Surly Furious in hand. And by the way,
show us your cans.
And exciting news as well. And I believe the folks from Surly Brewing tweeted this out last Sunday. Go back and find it. Surly is available basically all throughout US Bank Stadium now.
Ooh.
They've got several locations at which you can buy Surly. So if you're at the game and you're like, what should I get to drink? Can I get a Surly? The answer is absolutely yes. Don't settle. Get Surly.
Also, a shout out to the Minnesota Lottery for making these Vikings scratch games You could win up to $100,000 with the new $5 game and also a new $2 Skull game with a top prize of $15,000. Say, I'm into Viking scratch games from the Minnesota Lottery. Must be 18 or older to play.
You like that? You like that?
All right, so last night, here's question number 3 for you guys. 3. I can count. I went to the University of Minnesota. That's right.
Even Keys didn't screw up the count.
I know. So last night, Thursday Night Football, on paper, Bengals-Jaguars, my God. But if you get beyond Bengals-Jaguars, you had Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, sort of the future of the league potentially. And it turned out to be a pretty fun second half. Bengals made a comeback. It's Joe Burrow's first ever fourth quarter comeback. And they squeak out the victory. And then Urban Meyer just looked absolutely shocked after the game. It's like, how are we losing games?
It's not going to work.
This never happened before. It's like he's super depressed.
It's not going to work. He
bro,
doesn't.
You're coach of the Jaguars.
Exactly.
So my question to you guys is, fast forward 7 years from now. So in 7 years from now, I think Brady's going to be out of the league. I'm not 100% sure. But like Russell Wilson will be, he is going to be 40, and Kirk's going to be in his 40s, and Aaron Rodgers probably out of the league by that point. So 7 years from now, who will be the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL? Obviously, we don't know who the ones are going to be drafted, but like of the guys in the league right now, who are the top 5 quarterbacks? I got a list while you guys think, if you would like.
Burrow and Lawrence for sure. And by the way,
I would say Burrow for sure.
Lawrence will be fine. He's going to have, go back and and I'm not saying that he's going to be this guy, but go back and look at Peyton Manning's rookie season with a bad Colts team. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah,
Trevor
like
Lawrence,
28 picks or something.
Trevor Lawrence shows enough to me where it's only going to progress. Burrow last night, my God, was I impressed.
Yeah, he's figured it out.
And it wasn't just the actual play. It was his decision making. What was the one thing where they called he called a pass to that tight end who had a great game, and I think it was a jailbreak screen, and he basically said,
Wow, yeah, okay,
football. Well, wait, there's more to it though. He said the Jaguars defensive coordinator is from the Ravens coaching staff, and so he knew a zone blitz would be coming because that's what Baltimore does. So he predicted what they would do based on where the coach came from, called the play, and it worked to perfection.
Love it. I love that stuff. That's next level. I'm going to give you my 5.
All right.
And then you guys can judge and critique.
You got it.
So in 7 years, I think the top 5 quarterbacks are going to be Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, who just outdueled Pat Mahomes. Dak Prescott will still be very much in his prime. Kyler Murray and Joe Burrow. And I think there's 3 that are kind of like in the mix still. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Trevor Lawrence. I could also see like a 40-year-old, like Matthew Stafford or something, if he stays healthy and whatnot. I could see one of these guys who's like 33 right now.
Yep.
Or Russell Wilson's going to be like 40
Give me
years
your 5
old.
again, Phil.
Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, and Kellen Mond. I'm just kidding. Joe Burrow is 5th. Maybe Kellen Mond. Or a 40-year-old Kirk Cousins. Still slinging it. And then Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, all like in that mix as well. Josh Allen's so up and down sometimes. I'm probably whiffing by not putting him on this list, but judge me.
The guy I really like, and I have no idea if he's going to be good, but I love what they are doing, Trey Lance in San Francisco. They are.
Yeah, it's so hard to say. Like
right. No, right. But I love this. I love the slow cook. I think the slow cook is brilliant. And look at, I saw, I think it was on Around the Horn yesterday, the rookie quarterbacks who are starting, it's something like 3 games in. It was something like 18 picks.
It's bad.
That's bad.
And like a 1-9 record.
Yeah. And
So,
like
I love
Fields
the
could emerge. I don't know, but it's
Sure.
hard. But it's hard to even like think about those guys when they're
Zach Wilson
this bad
could
so far.
emerge.
Yeah.
The question that I have with a kid like that is, because you're the Jets, even with a different coaching staff, can you ruin him before he can get good?
The answer for the Bears and the Jets is always.
Right, I know, but I mean that's the thing.
That's the problem.
Like, is Zach Wilson, if he had the time to sit and learn, a potentially great quarterback who could be ruined. I mean, look at, you know what? Perfect example, potentially, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is in a competent system now. And I'm not saying he's a Pro Bowl player, but he looks good. And Ryan Tannehill. Mm-hmm. I gave up on him. I was eventually like, well, he's just not that good. Goes to Tennessee, good system, bang, it changed.
Funny, if you swapped out Tua for Ryan Tannehill, Miami would probably be a lot better right now because it's a whole new regime and everything, but they got a great defense, but I don't know, Tua has not been that spectacular. What about you, Declan? What do you feel about this list?
Yep. I have 4 of the 5 on yours. I do have Lawrence in, so I have Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott. Prescott being more obviously the veteran there. But those are my 5. I do think Trevor Lawrence is going to be good. The thing with Burrow and Lawrence is they have buffoons for head coaches right now. Like Zach Taylor's not good. Urban Meyer's an accomplished college coach, but is clearly not a good NFL coach.
He's a recruiter, right? Like he's a college recruiter. His entire career has been built around successfully getting the best players in the country and then lining up against inferior rosters.
Yeah.
Well, that's not how it works in the NFL. Right. You don't get to do that.
Well, and he can't understand. Like he looks after every loss now. He looks like he just lost to like Appalachian State.
It's like, dude, you're losing 11 more. So
like, how did we lose this game? Well, it's the pros, dude. No, we saw it with Saban, who got incredibly frustrated by every pro loss. Mm-hmm. Holtz coached the Jets, I think, in 1977 in a 14-game season. I think he lasted like 12 games and quit.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. Like you lose 1 game a year in college, and it's like a failure. And here, it's like, yeah, you're gonna win 2 games.
I think Trevor Lawrence, the stat I saw, I think his loss last night to drop the Jags to 0-4 is as many losses combined as he had in high school and college.
Whew. Yeah,
he's already there.
That's pretty amazing. All right, and then question number 4.
Come on! Football!
This is the Would You Rather question of the week on 4 Question Friday. Would you rather be reincarnated as a sea creature or an airborne creature?
So I could be a fish or a bird?
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean...
Yes.
You know, I like the thought of flying, but birds are so disgusting.
Yes.
And I feel like fish... Oh, they're gross.
Birds are gross, dude.
What? Birds spread disease. Birds have all types of crap.
Humans spread disease too.
No, but I mean, birds are like disgusting.
Wear a mask.
I'm going sea creature because 1, you know, you can breathe, and you're in the ocean or something. And 2, when you die, you're a delicious meal. Potentially.
Like so you're saying like if you were a salmon,
like if I'm a bird,
you would eventually give someone great pleasure on a Friday night.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. And if I'm a bird, there's a fighting chance I just get like shot or eaten by a different creature.
Where do dead birds go? Like why aren't I mean there's millions of birds, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
the ground.
They're just the city comes and picks them up, scoops them up.
Do they?
Yep, I go on.
And it's disgusting because then they got flies around them. Like they never meet good ends. At least if you're a good piece of fish, like you're gonna be sautéed, you're gonna be delicious.
I do think like predator bird, like an eagle's cool, a hawk is cool.
Also disgusting.
But here's the thing: when everyone's like, "Oh, I wish I could fly." How fast can you fly? Because if I can only cruise at 25 miles per hour, it's going to take me a long time to get to places, even if it looks really cool as I'm flapping my wings all around. Okay,
like birds can fly fast. Let's Google. How fast
I don't know how fast
fly?
like an eagle or something flies, but I don't think it's like more than like 40 miles an hour outside of like a predator.
Okay, a golden eagle flies 200 miles an hour.
Holy crap! Okay.
A bald eagle flies 100 miles an hour. A red-tailed hawk flies 120 miles an hour.
Okay, so birds can fly pretty quick. That's actually good to know.
I'm trying to envision
research next time.
Like a slow old bird going 20 miles an hour trying to get down south.
But I'm not but to the water question, I'm not a great swimmer. Like I know my limits in the water. I just know my limits. I like being around the water. I love a boat. I love all that noise. But like I know I'm not great in the water. So because I'm not a great swimmer, I think it'd be awesome to just be able to breathe underwater and be able to swim like that. So I'd probably lean that I would be in the sea. I think I'd be okay with that.
Wow. Well, I think my main selling point for being in the sea would be that I like to explore. I like to travel, explore. And did you guys know that more than 80% of our ocean is currently unexplored? And so there would just be all kinds of just new things to explore. Really? Yeah. Well, think how deep the ocean goes.
It's pretty big.
You know, like the Pacific Ocean.
Huge, I know.
There aren't just people, 100 miles off the coast of Hawaii that are.
It's really interesting, though.
Hanging out down there. So there's a lot to explore, but I can't shake the fact that as a sea creature, there would always be predators. It's just at least if you're
freaky.
If you're in the air, at least you're mostly free from predators. You can just hang out on the top of a tree and unless someone shoots at you. But
that's a good point.
People aren't just like shooting at birds,
right? But a bigger bird could swoop down and grab you by the nape of your neck and eat you. I don't want that.
But like the sea is like survival of the fittest. Like if you're a small fish, you're screwed.
Well,
big fish eats little fish.
I want to be a good piece of salmon that gets sautéed with a little butter on me.
Oh, all right. So I think we settled that. I think so.
Football, yeah, football.
Cool. Let us know in the YouTube comment section. Would you rather be an airborne creature or a seaborne creature? All right, that's a wrap on 4-Question Friday here, presented by Surly Brewing Company. Vikings Vent Line right after Browns Vikings on Sunday will either be your therapists or we will be your party organizers for that stretch of time after the game is over. Thanks for hanging out with us. See you next time on Purple Daily.